Hey guys, Steve here with Scotch and Things. Sorry, my GoPro died, so I'm just gonna do this on my phone. And I hope I'm not gonna ramble too long. So, please, if you're watching this video, if you agree with this video, please watch the video and let me know if you agree with it, or if you don't, let me know down in the comments below. But do me a favor. We're not going to scream at each other. We're not going to, if you don't agree with my opinion, this isn't going to be one-sided. I'm giving you the opportunity, if you don't agree with me, to comment in the comments below in a adult manner, okay? We're not going to act like children. We're not going to act like how people in this country are acting right now. And that is the problem. So we're going to talk about, and this is just my opinion, how I feel or what's going on in this country. It's more on the, it's going to be a little bit on both the school shootings and the election over the last year and a half ago, and just my thoughts in general on what I've seen change. And I'm no expert, and I don't have all these studies, and I haven't read a bunch of studies that whoever's writing the study has the ability to twist in their favor. So if you want to read studies, go ahead. But this is just my opinion and my personal view of what I think's changed. So, okay, let's just take this for example. Right now, this is the closest thing, and it's horrible. And I've got 4 children, and honestly, there's not a day goes by that I'm not worried about their safety in school. And yeah, that's a sad place to be in. But guess what? Taking the gun away isn't gonna keep them safe. If someone wants to do them harm, pretend there were no more guns and we still lived in today's world, they would use a knife. And if there wasn't a knife, they'd use a stick. And if there wasn't a stick, they'd use a rock. I'm just trying to get across the point on, I think, where we are in society, and that it's not the gun. Because guns were there 40 years ago, 20 years ago, and when I was in school, this kind of thing didn't happen. When my parents were in school, kids brought guns to school. People had guns in their trucks. My dad said he would bring his gun into classroom, and so would his buddies, and they would sit in the corner because they would go hunting later. So it's not the gun, because the guns have always been there. Look at the election. So, and what I'm getting at, all these points are, I'm trying to use these points like school shootings or politics or the news, and it's all kind of the same. It all kind of leads to the same place. So look at politics. And this is, I'm 42, so I've been able to vote for a while, but I remember, so Obama, I didn't vote for him, and he won 4 years, and I didn't vote for him the second time, and he still won. I didn't like him, I didn't agree with his politics, but guess what? I lived my life. I didn't throw a hissy fit in a tantrum because who I wanted to win didn't win. All right? And look at what our country's been over the last year and a half. There's so much negativity and hate towards Trump that we're hardly accomplishing anything. We're spending so much time trying to bash him. Imagine, and Obama got bashed too, and Bush got bashed. There's always going to be bashing, but look what the talk shows at night have become. They're supposed to be these comedy talk shows at night that you watch before you go to bed, that just kind of breaks up your day. Most of us in America work very hard, and that was always kind of a treat. And now they've become this political nightmare that I don't watch them anymore, because people in Hollywood and comedy and they think their opinions are more valuable than mine, and they believe that we should believe what they want us to. So I just, and that's my right. I don't watch them. But it's the same thing with news, with CNN, and it's everything. Everybody has an agenda now, which is weird. And so there's all these different ways to push agenda now that they're didn't social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and it's just really kind of changed how we do things, and everybody feels that what they're saying is so much more important than what the other guy says, that, I mean, there's no talking about it anymore. There's no discussion. It's just, I'm right because, what I believe is better, and you're an idiot if you don't agree with me. And that's what this has become. And there was always kind of that, but it's so bad now, and it's just so in your face all the time. Look at what college has become. Guess what? People are so upset about guns, and they want to take away the Second Amendment. Well, the First Amendment is giving these college students the right to act like complete assholes on campus. Just being complete. If you watch anything go on YouTube or and campuses always have, and it doesn't have to be political, but campuses always have speakers come in. It's just what they do. Guest speakers, stuff like that. Well, now students, because they feel they're so empowered, that they're shutting these things down, and look what we did, we shut it down. Well, now there has to be like security guards to protect these guest speakers, and it's insane. When I was in college, one of the classes, and I can't remember the name, I wish I was a freshman, but it was a class that was kind of meant to get you out of your comfort zone. So, I went to, and they didn't, like I said, they made us, but it was part of the class. You had to go to this event and then write a paper on it, or write a little, synopsis on what it was and what you thought about it. And I thought that was kind of nice because, honestly, I was just some white kid from, middle class America, that had to go see Maya Angelou talk. That was pretty freaking cool. I mean, Maya Angelou, she's a pretty impressive person. I had to go see the Joffrey Ballet, which I would have never, I'm sorry, but as an 18-year-old kid straight out of high school, sorry, I need to shave. You think I would have gone to the ballet? It was pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie. I had to go, and I don't know what they called it at the time on campus. It might have been it was the lesbian, that was the LGBT community, but it wasn't kind of called that 20-something years ago. But they had an office on campus for those students, and I had to go interview someone that volunteered there, someone worked there, and not like just because that wasn't my lifestyle, So they had us go, and I think there was other, like there was the African American students had something like that too, and so there's all kinds of these things on campus, and I went to that one and interviewed someone, and it was hard to take me out of my comfort zone at that age, at 18, but now I'm 42, and I've got friends, and I've worked with people that are gay and lesbian, and one of my, I won't get into that, but it's just, it was something to get me out of my comfort zone. But now colleges are a different thing. It's these kids feel empowered, and that's what college is. It's supposed to make you feel empowered and you're going to grow, but where they're shutting people down from free speech, well, if you take away the Second Amendment, guess what? Next is the First. So, those people speaking have just as much right to speak as you do to protest. So don't be an asshole about it, is what I'm saying. But these kids are acting this way, and kind of the teachers, look at some of the teachers they should be ashamed, professors. You're there to teach these kids. You're not there to instruct them on what to do and how to act, this is their time to grow. So that's my thought on that. But anyway, so this whole, millennials get I'm sorry I'm rambling, but it's got a point. Millennials get a hard time. They're kind of a running joke. But it's true. Like I worked for before, if you watch any of my other videos, I don't do what I used to do. But every single meeting I went to it was always driven by millennials, because they were just this enigma, and we're trying to figure out how they spend their money and how they buy, and they were going to be the first generation in American history that was okay with making less than their parents did. Just stuff like that. We're trying to figure out buying trends and just goofy stuff. Their interests were just different. So, but I think they act like this is because I think it goes back to childhood. And I think, so this all ties in. Sorry, I've been rambling for 10 minutes. But with school shootings, with these kids on campuses acting like complete assholes, have respect for other people. No one has any kind of respect for anybody anymore, and that's the problem. And I think it's because no one's a loser anymore. And what I mean by that is, I grew up, guess what? There was first, second, and third place. All right? Those three got medals, got ribbons. No one else did. Everybody today gets a ribbon. All right? And it's great. Oh, everybody wants a trophy. But guess what? When I was in first and second grade playing soccer, I didn't get a damn trophy unless you won. And it made you want to be better. It made you want to strive. To get that. And now kids know at the end of the season they're going to walk home with a trophy. Okay? So there's no real reason to want to strive and do better, because you're going to get that shiny thing at the end anyway. You're going to get that shiny prize. And so we've made everybody feel like they're going to be winners. And then all of a sudden, these younger kids who have been winners their whole, say from kindergarten through whatever it is, 6th grade now, get into middle school, it gets a little tougher. Get into high school, it gets real tough. Because at least in those sports, guess what? They're still first, second, and third. All of a sudden, they're not winners anymore. And they have a hard time dealing with that. And then they get to college and they have a real hard time dealing with that. But they have a hard time dealing with people. Their problems aren't, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not first place anymore. I think that's where this kind of, it's not, they don't know how to respond. They don't know what losing is, or they don't know what like real adversity is. So they lash out, and it's become this Me Too world where I think with social media and video games, like, guess what? I love video games, and people, well, hey, you're blaming video games instead of guns. Well, guess what? Guns were around 40 years ago, and the video games that I played growing up weren't like today's video games. So I do think that has a part to do with it, because guess what? These guns, they were readily available to kids back then. Hell, a lot of parents back then didn't have safes. They were hanging on the walls at home, so they didn't have to get around some kind of high-tech security to get the weapon. It was readily accessible, and this kind of crap didn't happen. I think of the games that you grew up playing, Atari. I mean, they weren't real violent. They were just strategy and shapes and noises, because that was the technology, and I think technology's grown, so the games have gotten better. But I'm sorry, but grade school, junior high, maybe even some high school kids shouldn't be playing some of these games that are out there, because they are, although I enjoy playing them, but I'm also an adult and I understand what is real and what's fake. Where I think as you're growing up, it makes it easy. Like, a lot of people have said, hey, I've got this cool gun in this game and I can shoot someone and I can walk away. So maybe that doesn't translate very well into real life for them, and they don't, okay, I'm angry because something happened at school or something didn't go my way, so I'm going to take this gun just like I do in this game and do this, and everything will be okay, because in my fake world everything's okay. That's just one thought. Social media, everybody talks about social media bullying and how bad it is. Well, just the social media in general. Like, I didn't have Facebook until 10 years ago. This stuff wasn't around. Cell phones. Think of how kids spend their time now. It's on phones and tablets and games and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all this stuff. Instead of being kids and playing and being outside and getting in scraps with other kids. So they don't have the tools. They don't have the ability to learn how to deal with stuff like that. So these are just my thoughts. Instead of people want to ban guns, I guess what? Like I said before, you take away the gun, they're going to find something else. You want to put age limits on guns, that's fine. But I think, honestly, what there should be age limits are on, and hard age limits, not like there are on these games, but hard age limits on games and social media. Maybe kids shouldn't be allowed to have Facebook until they're 21. Think about that. Then there wouldn't be social bullying. There wouldn't be all this bullying, because before social media, there was bullying in school. And guess what? You know how you figured it out with your fists, and then it was over, and most of the time you had your scrapes and you became friends. You know, you didn't like someone, you had a little scrap on the playground, or you had a yelling match, and bam, you were friends. And there's some other cases where, you know, some kids might be a little bit more awkward and it just doesn't work out that well for them. And there were kids like that in my high school, but guess what? They got to college and they freaking excelled. So I don't know. I mean, this is 15 minutes of me rambling. You might agree, you might disagree, but I'm telling you, the gun is not the problem. And if you think it is, you need to just please step back and look. Think about when you were kids and your parents were kids. The gun was still there and this shit didn't happen, okay? What did you do? You fought on the playground. Oh my God, there was a fight on the playground. We have to cut his wrists off. We have to take his hands away. No. That's how arguments were settled then. You know, and I love video games. I don't want them to be banned. Do they need to be regulated? Well, hey, you're saying regulate video games, but not guns. No, but I'm saying, hey, we won't let a kid have a gun until he's 18 or 21. Maybe they shouldn't have video games until they're 18 or 21. Or maybe they shouldn't have Facebook until they're 18 or 21. And maybe we should quit telling these kids that, guess what? You came in last, but you're still a winner. Because guess what? In real life, you're not a winner. You're fucking last place. And that's what's really hard for these kids. And that's what these parents and these schools don't understand. And I think that's the real problem. Because guess what? If I came in last place, I was in last fucking place. I didn't get a ribbon. If I wanted that ribbon, you had to do what? You had to work hard. And these kids aren't working hard. They want everything just handed to them. So I'm sorry. I really want to know what you guys think. This isn't a left or right thing. This isn't a gun thing. I was just throwing out my opinion and what I think it is. You guys might say, Steve, you're an idiot. It's the gun. Well, I'll say you're wrong. Just like you saying I'm wrong. But, you know, like I said, I just got back from vacation and I was out of the country for a week and it was great. I was unplugged. I didn't have to listen to all this shit every day. Someone's bashing on our president. See, that's another thing. There's zero respect in this country anymore. You might not like the president of the United States, but he's the president of the United States. He might run his mouth and he might be an idiot, but some people might have thought Obama was an idiot. Some people might have thought Bush was an idiot. There's just so much lack of respect in this country this day and age. That's the problem. There's no respect. There's no last place because everybody's a winner, and all of a sudden they're not a winner. And so there's no respect, so shit just goes crazy. Sorry, that's just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. You know, disagree, do whatever, just comment. It's just, this country's goofy now, so share, subscribe. Let's have a discussion. Let's try and have an open discussion. And I'll talk to you guys later. I just had to get that off my chest because I don't know what's going on. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.